Hello, solopreneurs. I'm Samarthya Selva, your digital marketing pro and your get shit done coach. As solopreneurs, we often find ourselves wanting to be productive, yet we keep falling into the trap of procrastination. We avoid the actual work and we get caught up in the habit of saying yes to every request that comes our way, right? This leads to burnout and we stretch ourselves thin. We go out of our way for other people when it could have been totally avoided. We regret our choices and we wish that we had the courage to say no. So, to dig deeper into this topic, I'm joined by my colleague and friend Richard Morden. Richard is a compassionate Canadian divorce coach. He now lives in Mexico. He's passionate about guiding individuals through transformative journeys. He specializes in uncovering unconscious narratives and uses very powerful tools like EFT and NLP to release the limiting beliefs we have within ourselves and traumatic memories. Today, he's here to discuss the profound impact of saying no. Richard, what inspired you to teach clients to say no? How does this practice affect our emotional well-being and our total overall satisfaction in life? Can you explain how saying no leads to healthier relationships and better personal boundaries?
Thank you, Summer, for the opportunity to speak with you, and I appreciate being here. We grew up in a lot of families, all well-being, but no was not really an option for many of us. We were taught what to do, how to do it, and no was considered almost a bad word, but also in the sense that we were taught how to help other people. But in that helping other people, which is all well and good, we learn to what we call give ourselves away too much. We're looking for approval, and that's the thing that probably bleeds into our lives so much. We're so much seeking approval. We're trying to do so much for others. We don't know how to do things for ourselves. And it seems the more we try and help other people and go out of our way, the more we get stepped on, the more we get overlooked because people aren't respecting us. We don't realize how this is sort of backwards when we again don't have boundaries, don't understand the power of no. So the word no often means in a sense of no to little requests, no to things that don't serve you. And that takes time and some diagnosis of your life. Who is taking your time? Who's part of that person and people who always seem to make these requests upon you when a few minutes turns into an hour? And how many times have we said yes to something, it's come out of our mouth and we go, instant regret? Because that yes to them is a no to you. And that's the thing. So when I teach people how to say no, I mean politely, and without guilt, because often we're guilted for saying no. People play on us and things like that. When you can learn those things, that no to that person or that request is a yes to you. And that's sort of actually the beginning of our trusting ourselves, our intuition, how our self-guidance, how our instinct comes out. So when we start to build this platform of saying no to extraneous requests, especially as solo entrepreneurs. There you say, oh, you should say yes to everything. And I say the opposite. You should say no to most things. What's important to you? And when you build that sort of sense of self-reliance and what trusting your instinct, and then when somebody's coming to you with a request, you immediately go, this isn't going to be good for me. So I think I'll just pause that or maybe not respond or for a while, or just say, no, I can't do it at this time. And that's again, without an excuse or a reason. That's important. Just a clear, concise, short no, not at this time, because we get caught trying to explain ourselves and then we get backpedaling. When you learn that without explanation, they don't need one. You don't need to give one. That's without guilt. That's powerful because ultimately what no does for you, in a sense of how it helps you out, it increases your self-esteem. Saying no helps reinforce your self-worth. You recognize your needs, your time, your preferences are important. Better time management, that is super important. When you decline requests, you do not align with priorities. You manage your time more effectively, and you're not worrying about it. You're not ruminating in your head about something you said yes to and think, how I can't do that. It reduces stress. Constantly saying yes can lead to overload schedules and stress. By saying no, you prevent burnout and maintain your mental, physical, and emotional health. Improved relationships, honest relationships. When you are saying no, you are more present with the people who matter to you most. When you're sitting with your family, having dinner, your children, you're not ruminating with all the stuff that's going on in your head about what you have to do. And you've said no to a few things. You can be present with your family, with your loved ones, and the people in your meetings because you've kept your schedule clear. It gives you time for personal growth and development. Because now you've got time, say you're a solopreneur, you've got a lot of skills you need to develop on, and learning how to resource, learning how to ask for help. So knowing your limits and that, again, you get to spend time learning what you need to learn in order to improve yourself as an entrepreneur. You learn better communication skills that way. When you start to say no and then you start to request, you learn how you want to be it short and concise, being a direct speaker. If you're not a direct speaker, you understand what the difference is between being a direct and an indirect. And again, you keep saying you don't have to help everybody because you've created this codependence with people in the past and, oh, they need me. That's your ego. I'm sorry, that's codependency and you've created. You need to step away from that. Again, we've got tools for that we'll discuss further in this little dialogue, but it's just so important that little no can build into a whole lot of big yeses for yourself inside and more prosperous in the way you view yourself in your business.
Absolutely, Richard. I have burned out saying yes to every single thing that came my way. But now, especially last night, a very difficult client said, I want to renew my contract with you. And I just gave her one word, no. And that felt immensely good. And I think that's thanks to your coaching, Richard. Also, Richard, I've heard a lot about your mental model. Time sweeps, people are speaking about it. So can you give us an overview of what time sweeps is? Tell us what was the inspiration behind creating this lovely model?
Well, in the sense of being an NLP and EFT practitioner, there's always, which is a great modalities, and I really enjoy working with them, but they always felt there must be an easier way because they require a lot of discovery, a lot of digging into people's, and sometimes stories in life and it takes time. And I felt there must be another way. So when my wife showed me what I mean one time, and it said, people will remember you in the moment they had the most power over you. And I thought, man, that's like a timestamp, And I thought, so I ended up changing it to time sheet because that moment in time actually was what carries us through. It stays with us, those moments of time. So how do you find those through traditional methods? That little sequence. So we say we accumulate a vast array of experiences in our memories, many of which can impact our emotions, behavior in profound ways, often without our unconscious awareness. And that's the big thing. We've got behaviors we adopted or picked up as a child. We're still using those same behaviors and strategies 40 years later. And we don't know why we're having trouble. What's going on? It worked as a child, but as an adult, unfortunately, it can be a very detriment. Okay, time sweep stands out by blending visualization, mindfulness, and emotional decluttering, uniquely focusing on the energetic blocks in us. Unlike traditional methods that are deep dive into a past traumas, with time sweep, we can sweep through the layers of forgotten stories, incidents. Often that is below our conscious memory. So it's because we're not aware of these stories. Stuff we've overheard in life, things that we've picked up just by being in emotional distance. So all this is done without dissecting or having to relive the past in any detail. It's done in a slight meditative state. Time sweep is based on a belief that our memories, whether good, bad, or traumatic, are stored in images. That's the key point, stored in images throughout our body in energy fields. These images are interconnected through our language and the myriad of stories we've been told or overheard during our lives. By simply focusing on a specific stress point and using the command open, clear, delete, and a story now, we can swiftly clear these emotional blocks, sometimes requiring only a few repetitions. Whether it's intrusive thoughts or stress points or broader abstract topics, time sweep offers a way to emotionally clear residue and live more freely in the present. So we as a practitioner use this with the client in meditative state, but also the point we're teaching the client how to do much of this on their own. We have what we call intrusive thoughts. Your mind keeps scattering. So you just say, whatever this is, it's just open, clear, delete now. Open, clear, delete, open, clear, delete. And often that'll bring us back in sense of being present and away from those thoughts or songs or whatever they keep running through our head.
That sounds fantastic. And it looks like this method works because you have been working on me and I've been watching the profound results that's happening inside me. So thank you for that. but still I would like the audience to know, like, how does time sweeps differ from any other time management or personal development models? In what way can this model um, help someone become a better or a successful person in their business?
With the traditional models of EFT and NLP, and again, I'm a 10-year veteran of these, that there always seems to be something else. As much as we do it to the best of our abilities with the clients, you think somewhere there's always another hiccup in our own life, another block or another barrier, another thing like that. So it covers the subtle and deep-rooted issues. It captures all the tendrils and residual blocks left behind by past events, whether from our lifetime or ancestral experiences. Again, this comprehensive coverage ensures that no emotional tendril or residual block is left unattended, providing a more thorough and emotional release compared to conventional methods. And again, it's not intrusive. We may start with an abstract topic of avoidance, which is, I call the invisible barrier sometimes, where people avoid stuff. So, and it may come from we're avoiding something, whether it's pain or avoiding something because one of the ways I was speaking with someone, I don't want to be like them. Well, what does that mean? Traditional methods, you'd be digging into that forever. And I just say, wherever all the time sweeps with this avoidance, I don't want to be like them. Open, clear, delete, and destroy now. So I'm speaking with your unconscious. You're in a slight meditative state or just quietly sitting there, just letting me speak. But this is, again, a lot of you use on yourself. What am I avoiding? Open, clear, delete, open, clear, delete. So it's so many ways that we can do so much for ourselves very quickly, but also as a practitioner, we can find sometimes a language pattern they have long forgotten. Because, when we hear things as a child growing up, those early formative years, we don't remember those, but our unconscious does.
Mm-hmm.
So I could say all the time sweeps that you overheard, in maybe intense discussions with your family arguing over money, open, clear, delete, and destroy now. So we can look at these abstract thoughts because at 1-year-old, you don't remember, when dad slammed his hand on the table and mom started to cry. You don't remember all that, but you can remember the intensity of the emotion and the energy. So that shocked, because we experience all this growing up. It doesn't like a slideshow, but that's an image in our head, an emotional image. So there's so many ways that we can find how to, connect with this through our language patterns. And again, education for yourself. But if you got some, like I said, the intrusive thoughts, which are common, we're walking down the street, we're trying to focus and our mind's wandering around, and you say, oh, open all these time sweeps of why am I thinking of, somebody, I ran into 10 years ago, or there's some incident that happened with my mother. What's going on? So open, clear, delete, and allows you to be present. So I use it all the time now because it's become such a habit to give me clarity, especially as an entrepreneur, when I'm focusing on my work, trying to get work done, and distractions. So all distractions, open, clear, delete now, open, clear, delete, take a breath, and I go into my task.
I think that's amazing. What fascinated me in the beginning when you started working with me on avoidance was the open, clear, delete. And it really felt like a lot of things from my past that have been keeping me blocked have been crushed like a paper and gone into the trash basket. The first night you had a session with me, I had a session with you. I wondered all night like how big my trash can is. And I was wanting to emotionally go and delete my trash can, empty my trash can. So this, I think, is profound. You have a very good model in there. I want a lot of people to know about it, and this is going to help a lot of people.
Thank you. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. But what this really is, obviously it does work really well, because, and there's ways to teach us, but also there's ways to become more intuitive. But it's fun. It's really enjoyable. The client's having a good time, and there's profound sort of uncoverings at the time. Like awareness has come through after. But again, when the limitations are gone, they're like, oftentimes we don't remember we had them. So that's where we like to kind of track this too, because it's like a phobia. We forget we had a phobia. So yes. I'm using sort of little journey maps with people so they remember their journey. They can, because this is about you as the client. it's not about me. I'm just a guide here, helping the process along. But I really want you to understand your power, how powerful you are. And when you move through these and develop what I call mini foundations, you realize you can continue on your journey. Sometimes on your own, sometimes you require help, and that's what we're here for. So again, I appreciate all this, but again, we're having fun. This is continue to explore this model as it's being, as we're doing more and more things with it. But again, it's safe, it's effective, it's relatively quick, and it's a great experience. So thank you for the opportunity to share this.
You're very welcome. I'm pretty sure that many people will find the benefit in this model, and it'll grow, and you're going to leave your mark behind with time sweeps, Richard.
Thank you. Appreciate the time. This has been wonderful. I appreciate that.